You're listening to the AstroMommy Daily Horoscope, a forecast that hopes to shine a light in the dark, helping us all see where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Whether you're a first-time listener or a long-time subscriber, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you being in the AstroMommy community. I hope you enjoyed today's horoscope and card reading. If you would like to support the AstroMommy Newsletter, there are several ways to do so. Subscribe on Substack, share it with a friend, schedule a reading, check out my family's Etsy shop, Metaphysical Flamingo, or just leave a tip. Without further ado, here is the Daily Horoscope. Moon moves into Gemini and Mars ingresses into Cancer. Bandages are just quick fixes. We need to get to the root of the problem to solve it. Weekend horoscope for Saturday and Sunday, March 25th through the 26th, 2023. Good morning, friends. Okay, let's get into the astrology. So today Mars makes his ingress into Cancer, and although this is his fall, I personally am happy that he is leaving my first house of Gemini. I hope I still feel that way in a week or two. But Mars is the lesser malefic, and that comes with a certain vibe, right? Stress, aggression, hyperactivity, etc. But in Cancer, Mars's fiery nature gets subdued and enveloped by the watery depths of Cancer. It's like when a lighter gets wet and it's sparking but not lighting. You try and try to get it to ignite, but it just sputters and sparks. It has to dry out before it will light again. Well, that's where we are. Mars is going to go through some sputtering and sparking as he tries to dry off this water, and he can't do it with flames. He has to do it with the heat from within permeating out, and what results is a lot of energy getting stored and then bursting forth. So there can be outbursts, people lashing out at other people and seemingly flying off the handle, so to speak, when Mars is in Cancer. It's also a very whiny place for Mars to be, because he's pissed that he's all wet, like a cat that's fallen in a stream or you're about to bathe. You know the look a cat gives you when they're all wet, right? That look when you're giving them a bath like, you bastard, I hate you. So Mars is miserable and crabby and prone to lashing out with emotional outbursts when in Cancer. It's going to be fun. Mars will ingress into Cancer at 7:45 a.m. Eastern Time and immediately form a quincunx to Pluto in Aquarius. Uh-oh, this is not a good combo. The quincunx represents separation, change, and two planets that don't see eye to eye. They both want different things, and the quincunx forces them to try to work together and make a compromise. But the compromise leaves both of them feeling shorted, and no one wins. Pluto in Aquarius wants an existential change for society that is going to make it better as a whole, and Mars in Cancer wants to feel secure and taken care of because he's feeling so vulnerable and emotional like a woman with PMS, and he doesn't really care about the big picture right now. He's dealing with his own feelings, and he needs chocolate. So we have a cranky Mars meeting up with the detached Pluto, ready to revamp the world, and somehow they have to work together. This could be a disaster. I don't mean a literal disaster, but just like an emotional disaster, where people could be feeling on edge about the world at large, but wanting to focus on their own problems and wishing that the world would stop throwing curveballs every which way and just settle down. At 12:10 and then at 12:18 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, Venus and the Moon, both in Taurus, each make an aspect to Neptune in Pisces. Venus forms a semi-square and then the Moon forms a sextile. So these two are trying to smooth things over by giving Mars the chocolate he wants, but it's only a small bandage and doesn't solve the deeper issues, right? We could feel all of these things in our personal lives, like dealing with a cranky toddler and trying to appease them with bribes or negotiating. This tactic usually works for a few minutes or an hour, if we're lucky, but then the toddler is back to screaming and yelling their demands, and it's exhausting. Then at 5:55 p.m. Eastern Time, the Moon in Taurus perfects a semi-square to Mercury in Aries, and again, it's like the planets are plotting a plan of action about how to deal with the situation that has come up involving Mars and Pluto, but no one can agree on what to do. Should we give in to their irrational demands or stand firm and be the parents in this situation? At 8:41 p.m. Eastern Time, the Moon ingresses into the sign of Gemini, where she is peregrine, which means she feels out of her element, not able to be herself and all alone, but she is talkative, resourceful, and able to network incredibly well, so it could be worse. Her first order of the night after her ingress into Gemini is to perfect a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, so she's going straight to the source and extracting all of the useful information, knowledge, and buried treasures that she can that may help the situation move forward. By 12:37 a.m. Eastern Time, late Saturday night, just after midnight, the Moon now in Gemini will then square Saturn in Pisces, so she is going directly to the boss of Pluto right now, as Saturn is a traditional dispositor of Pluto in Aquarius, and she's like, I've got some serious things to say about all this stuff you two planets are dishing out. This transit could be hard for people as they slam up against the brick wall of whatever boundaries and limitations they are feeling with this Moon-Saturn square. Let's talk about Sunday. Right after the moon makes her contact with Saturn, she turns to Jupiter for help, forming a semi-square from her place in Gemini to his place in Aries. Alas, the big guy can't help her solve her issues. He wants to bring good fortune and abundance, but he's not in the place to do so yet. He's still dealing with what he wants and doesn't have time for what the moon wants. By the morning on Sunday, the moon in Gemini will form a sextile to the sun in Aries, and finally she starts to get somewhere. So Sunday may be a better day where you feel like what you are trying to do and get accomplished is actually possible, and you've got a little bit of backup, someone in your corner, so to speak. In the afternoon, Mercury will conjoin Chiron in Aries at 2:57 p.m. Eastern Time, and this could represent the desire to set the record straight or change the environment in some way that feels better. Mars is the dispositor of Aries, and he's in Cancer right now, not feeling too hot, so this could be like Mercury and Chiron getting together and trying to figure out how to solve the deeper issues. Chiron is offering healing solutions, and Mercury is figuring out how and when to apply them. So for the rest of Sunday, we could feel like we are starting to make some progress as we try to figure out the root cause of the issues and stop just slapping bandage after bandage on them. The Gemini moon energy can help us collect the data so that we can start to see the pattern and anticipate the next move and thus our next steps. And it may be that we need to go on an elimination diet to figure it all out, or that we need to put our toddler on one. Let's move on to the 3-card spread for the weekend. With all the financial stuff going on right now, I would like to pull 3 cards about money, the past, present, and future of money right now. The card representing money in the past is 1 of Vessels. The card representing money in the present is Matriarch of Pipes. And the card representing money in the future is 3 of Blades. This is not an optimistic reading in terms of money, unfortunately, but I will do my best to explain what I think it means. Getting the Heartbreak card, the 3 of Blades, as the future of money just doesn't look good. The past, 1 of Vessels. The jar in this image is a southwestern fetish jar with a hole in it that releases the fetish when shaken for divination purposes. This is interesting because usually you think of a jar or jug holding water without holes, but this one has a hole in order to tell the future. The fetish that is laying next to the jar looks like a claw, symbolizing holding onto something or clawing our way into something, but could also mean great strength, power, and ingenuity. So I think this card is simply symbolizing that in the past we may have used divination to answer a question we had about money. The present, Matriarch of Pipes. This card represents an optimistic and enthusiastic woman who is cooking something up. She has inspired ideas and knowledge about how to manifest things in her life, and she is using those gifts to try to make something tangible and edible, as symbolized by the woman on this card cooking something in the pot over the fire. So as the card for the present, we are all trying to stay optimistic, inspired, and enthusiastic about money and the financial situation, cooking up ideas that may solve our problems. We may be gung-ho about acting upon whatever ideas we've had lately, or were sparked by the divination reading, or we may have already impulsively taken a few steps forward towards some investment, as is shown by the Matriarch of Pipes already cooking something. The fires are lit, the water is getting hotter, and steam is coming off of it, but I don't see much in there, so there's still time to change what is going to go into the pot. The future, 3 of Blades, Mourning. In the future, there is loss and disappointment on the horizon, so it doesn't look good. No amount of optimistic thinking will change the hardships about to come. So this card is a heads up that difficulty is coming in regard to whatever you were inspired about. This hardship will come with great flooding of emotions and mourning. The Heartbreak card is not an easy card and represents sorrow and feeling sorry for oneself. Something is about to end that will cause a massive shock emotionally. This card is like an alarm bell going off, trying to warn us that major change, loss, and instability is coming. The bright side of the 3 of Blades is knowing what is coming ahead of time so that you may brace yourself for hard times and open yourself up to learning the lessons. What we can focus on is solving the problems as they come up and looking at the silver lining about what lessons we will be learning through the experience. There are always lessons to be learned with every challenge, right? So this card could be pertaining to a personal investment opportunity going bust, or this card could be representing the entire financial system going through a major ending and a new beginning. This last idea is definitely corroborated by the astrology, so we all need to be aware that a major and difficult change is on the horizon involving money that will be very emotional. I'm kind of regretting asking this question. What do you see these cards representing in terms of money and their positions in the reading? I would love to hear a different perspective. Is there anything positive about the 3 of Blades as the future of money? Let me know in the comments. I hope this is helpful. Until Monday, AstroMommy.
Thank you for reading or listening to the Daily Horoscope. Quick links and resources can be found at the bottom of the newsletter. Today's card was pulled from the Native American Tarot deck by Magda, Weck, Gonzalez, available on Amazon. If you seek knowledge and enlightenment, the AstroMommy Newsletter may be right for you. Side effects of reading or listening to the AstroMommy Newsletter are common and include joy, jubilation, delight, happiness, gratitude, love, triumph, feeling in tune with the universe, experiencing deep insights, reflections, and contemplations, a lightened soul, a lighter step, feeling awake when others are asleep, illuminated, enlightened, having spiritual experiences, noticing repeating numbers, animals in nature, or songs on the radio that speak to you, getting vibes, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsmelliance, feeling like you know secret language, biophilia, crying tears of joy, emotional literacy, feeling lively, stable, exalted, having an auric glow, or feeling like you woke up on the right side of the bed have all been reported. If you purchase anything through the affiliate links that I provide in the newsletters, I will make a very small commission. Thanks for listening.